Congratulations to Nathan. Came in, did a very good job. So right now, we've got two quarterbacks prepared to play. Probably will continue to do that for a little while. Make sure that both, as we get into conference play, have good experience and or as much experience as possible, and are ready to go. The game was a good game for us. I thought that our guys played with a lot of speed. I thought toughness was there, athleticism was there. So it's about what you ask for your first game. It's never about who you're playing. It's a matter of who you are and how you show up and how you play. And so I was real pleased with it. You look at some of the goals that we go over with them prior to the game and after the game. One of the biggest things is field position. 2016, we were 7-0 when we won the field position. You go back 4 years and we were something, I don't know, it's like 21-3 in winning the field position. So got more details on it than that, but basically we look at field position because that makes up a lot of things. It speaks to you about turnovers, which we won the turnover battle. We won the sack battle. We won the big and explosive play battle. We won the third down conversion rate battle. Goal line, or red zone, I guess, rather than goal line. Red zone, we were in it 7 times, scored 7 touchdowns. So across the board, we accomplished the goals that we had set out to accomplish. That doesn't happen very often, that you accomplish 100% of the goals. But that, I think, in doing that, accounted for the kind of score that we had, 59 to nothing. I think our depth showed over their depth. I thought that they played hard and pretty well early, but as the game went on, they wore down a little bit. I thought our guys continued to play strong, and that was the major factor. Offense, defense, special teams, all of it amounted to us establishing field position. It was something like 51 point some yards to their 19 something in terms of the field position. So, things are going to get tougher. They're going to get harder as we go through our schedule. This one will be a challenge, definitely for us. You look at their Louisville game, and Purdue played well. They obviously showed good physical ability. They've got strong physical football players. They've got depth. So they've got a lot of things that it takes to be successful. So they're, I'm sure, coming off the Louisville game with disappointment, but with encouragement, because they did play well, had a chance to get that thing done in that game. So, it'll be a little bit of a challenge for us on a road trip. It's a game that will be played on grass. That's going to be different for us. So there's quite a few challenges here coming up for this next game. But so far, our team has done well in meeting challenges, and like their attitude and like the makeup of this football team right now.
It's a threat assessment for Purdue's offense. You got put together tremendous offenses the last 3 years. Western Kentucky and back to some.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What,
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows their numbers, but what is it that they do that allow them to do something?
Well, offensively, they really have their time at the previous school, they have a balanced offense. You look at this past game, they threw the ball 50-some times in this game. And so they're capable of beating you with the running game or beating you with the throwing game. I think there's a lot of imagination into the offense. I think Jeff has done a great job, and will continue to do a great job. He's a very, very good football coach. So, they're playing two quarterbacks now, where they were able to settle in on one quarterback prior to him coming to Purdue and his staff. But the challenges are he recruited very well. So the challenges were, number one, the athletes on the field. Number two, they had a diversified offense that could hurt you in multiple ways. And they were big, physical on defense, and they could run. And so I'm sure that's his goal as to recruiting there at Purdue. He has taken over a team, though, that has good football players. So, it should be an interesting game, and looking forward to it. And we'll see what happens. Excuse me.
Talk about, their diversified offense. I guess, how are you preparing your defense this week to make sure that you're prepared for anything that they throw?
Well, we're on a short week, which doesn't help us. We paid a little bit of attention to them, to Purdue here prior to this week, so it's not like we're starting fresh with them in analyzing them. So, it's going to be a challenge, but we keep doing the same things that we've been doing, and obviously you're going to be practicing against their plays, against their defenses, but in saying that, you're not quite sure what you're going to get. They used a lot of man coverage at Western, and then right now they've used a fair amount of zone in this last ball game. So they've changed a few things, but I think the basis of what they're all about has remained the same. I looked at their game against Miami last year, and they had a reverse on the kickoff return. They had a fake reverse on the kickoff return. So you're going to get some things that you haven't prepared for. They're very good at that, giving you things that you haven't prepared for. So you're going to get some of those kind of things, and it's just a matter of how well you handle that, and how well you're versed on doing the right techniques and running the right schemes and being sound in what you do. So that'll be a key for us.
Other receivers, Jackson Andrew, get a really big game against Purdue, kind of step on the stage. What do you guys have to do?
Well, you have to be smart on how you handle him. He's out of the slot a lot of the times, and so you're looking at a guy that's got really good quickness and runs really good routes, excellent hands. You're going to have to mix things up, because not only because of him, but because of their quarterbacks and their system. You just give them one thing, and they're going to be able to zero in on you pretty good. They're good at that. So you got to do a few things that maybe will help with the complexity of what we're doing to give us a chance.
You mentioned the playing surface being grass there.
Yeah, it would be practicing on grass. The shorter week doesn't help us in that regard, though. And right now we're probably better served practicing on our turf than going on our grass to prepare for this one. We're not used to grass. The grass there is going to be different than our grass here, and so you might be opening yourself up to a can of worms and possible injuries and those kind of things if you just jump on our grass for right now. So the things, we've been on grass before against many teams. Penn State was grass, and you can start going down those non-conference schools, and a lot of them have been on grass, and so We seem to have adjusted very well jumping from turf to grass, so I don't see that as going to be a problem.
First home game under a new coach, got new lights at the new stadium, so after you expect.
Well, I think the atmosphere will be tremendous there. You know, I think they're all encouraged with Jeff leading their program, and they, you know, are fans that are hungry for success. I think they're going to turn out in mass, and a night game, new lights, it all adds up to being a wild football game. And you know, I'm sure the atmosphere there will be great.
It's a great showcase for your program too. Friday night game, that's one. Tim
Mhm.
Brando's calling the game.
Yeah.
Bobcat fans coming over from Columbus or even Chicago
Mhm.
down for it. This really, more so than a question, it's a great opportunity for your program.
Yeah, no question about it. And you know, we get on television quite a bit, and a lot of it's national exposure, and that has really helped our program. And so, getting on TV, like we've been doing, I think is something our players look forward to, our coaches look forward to, because it helps obviously in recruiting. Now you got to play well when you're on TV. You know, you can't stumble around the whole game, but generally we have played pretty well, and so it'll be a great atmosphere, and I think it's great exposure for our football team. I think it's great exposure for our football program. I think it's great exposure for Ohio University.
You like that?
Yeah, good, good. Hmm. Well, obviously, we're going to need to find a way to slow them down and stop them at times, and so turnovers would be ideal. And you know, one week doesn't necessarily lead to another week as far as it being the same, and 1 year doesn't lead to another year. You know, that was just the first game. I'm sure they've got a lot of the bugs out. I'm sure they'll emphasize even more taking great care of the football. But, you know, turnovers will play a huge part in the game, whether it's for them or for us.
Do you expect them to, obviously they're going up against last week, Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson. So how much do you expect them to change a little bit from their game planning for Louisville and from a defensive standpoint against your offense?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, you know, they'll look at, they've looked at Louisville for a long time preparing for them. You know, they're looking at us now, and they'll base their game plan against what we do. You know, Louisville obviously does some things different than what we do. Heisman Trophy quarterback, you know, so when you have that kind of situation, you do prepare usually a little different for an offense. And I'm sure that that they did for Louisville. You know, I expect them to, you know, you look at them inside, they're physical, they move well, their DBs, you know, are playing well. And coming out of fall camp, their coach said that defense was something that was ahead of the offense, you know. And maybe you saw that a little bit in the first game. I think the offense is going to catch up quick, and I think the defense will remain strong. So, you know, it's going to come down to a lot of things. Special teams will enter into the fray. And I was really pleased, by the way, with our special teams play, all phases of it. So we need to have that be part of this game.
In terms of like last week against Hamilton, you talked about getting the games there to certain set, and I guess this week, maybe in the second quarter, like against Hamilton.
Yeah, yeah. No real solid plan as to when we'll put him in, other than, you know, he'll go in sometime in the first half and get snaps, and then most likely they'll both play in the second half. But we'll see on that. You know, Quentin is our starting quarterback. I thought he played well. You know, you look at his passing percentage; it was in the 70s. That one interception, I don't put that on Quentin. The receiver got bumped, threw him off stride, and so the receiver wasn't there to fight for the ball or to break it up or go up and make the catch. So I thought Quentin had a very good football game. Was pleased with the start of both those guys.
You had a couple guys, Julian Ross and Cameron Odom, their first college snaps against Hampton. But is it up in competition against Purdue? How are you going to get those guys that are in your offense prepared for something?
Well, I liked the way both of them handled their first time in a game here at Ohio. And that showed me that they're capable of handling the next level stage. So I don't have any question about using Julian or Cameron. They're both going to play some.
The game Saturday, new injury?
We've, basically, I don't think there's anything that's going to keep anybody out of the game. Sam had a knee that bothered him at pregame, and he was not able to play, and so he'll be a question mark here. Other than that, we've got a swollen ankle and a strained knee. That's the extent of it.
Coach, when is the team really establishing the passing game? How important is that going to be to make sure that you don't put yourself in success?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna do what you can do each time you step on the field. The ideal way to do it is to run first and then set up your passing game. But if they're just stopping the run, we have the ability to throw. And we're not going to run against a stone wall for 4 quarters. But if we need to throw the ball to try to open up the running game a little bit, we'll do it. But we want to be diverse. We want to be able to do both. And somehow one will lead to helping the other one out, whether it's running the ball to throw, whether it's throwing to run. Yeah, it's difficult to. You look at their up front guys, and they protect their linebackers. And they'll give you an odd front as well as an even front, and so they're doing things. They're doing a little stemming to help with confusion on the offensive side of it, and all that's designed to help protect those linebackers because they're excellent football players. But you got to get by that first wave first, and you got to be good on your combo blocks and getting a guy to the linebacker and getting him there with timing. I think Coach Johnson's done a great job of that this fall in working with our guys. I was real pleased on how our offensive line in general played, and they're getting places. They're getting where they need to get. It's one thing to get where you need to get. It's another thing when you get there to get something done. But and this will be a test for our guys. But I'm pleased with what they've done so far.
You're going to be able to see Terrell Williams.
No, he's still out.
You talk about Joe Lowry and where he is right now compared to a year ago. What his health or how he feels right now, how that aged your offensive front.
Yeah. Joe was amazing last year in playing in games. His injury was such that it was painful. There was no permanent damage occurring from him continuing to play, but it was painful for him to play last year. And he fought through that for basically the whole season. I can't pat him on the back enough for what he did last year and staying on the football field and showing the toughness that he's got. He had surgery. That surgery was successful. He's playing without that pain now. and he's an excellent athlete, and so that athleticism is showing. You know, he's got the size, he's got the frame and height that you look for. He's got the movement that you look for, and so I think he's just so delighted that he's playing without pain right now, that football's fun again for him.
He's a different guy from some of the other guys on the offensive line, too. He's a little more reserved. He's not as verbal, not as in your face, maybe. Does
Yeah.
that help him in the position he plays at left tackle?
Yeah, I think it helps him individually to have that kind of makeup, but he's a team captain, and even though he's not a guy that's in people's faces or always out in front and doing a lot of talking, what he's all about is respected by his teammates, and that's why he was voted a captain. But he's pretty reserved, pretty quiet guy, but a fierce competitor.
Coach, I believe the last time Ohio played Purdue was 1978. Do you remember the last time you played Purdue?
You going to tell me about it? You're not?
No.
Why'd you bring it up?
Because I wanted to know.
Okay.
Anything else, guys? All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.